and get rid of the piston part, which would potentially... Oh, no! 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 No, no, no! 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 Go away! Alright everybody, hello then and welcome back to another episode on Scrap Mechanic with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our little base. In the last episode, we did work a bit further on our logging vehicle here, introducing some platforms to hopefully give it a bit more stability and allow us to not topple over when trying to knock down a tree this time around, and also, of course, making some other improvements along the way. Now, today, I think it is time to go for a second trial on knocking down another tree, and hopefully we will not this time actually topple over and manage to drill it down and everything will work out beautifully. I'm not 100% optimistic about that one, but I guess there's only going to be one way for us to find out. Before that though, we're also going to extend that cage a bit more upwards, as I already kind of teased it at the end of last episode too. We will be using a bunch of mesh for that, which is already good to go, and then when that one is done, we're going to go out and try this stuff. But just quickly, before we get started on this, if you're new around here and if you happen to enjoy this episode, please make sure to smash that subscribe button right down below. That would mean the absolute world to me. We are currently trying to hit 1k subscribers. There's still a good bunch to go, and every single one truly does help out a ton, so thank you very much if you did that. With that out of the way though, let's first things first, quickly go and grab our mesh right here. You can see I actually made more than a stack, so you know, this should hopefully be enough for a good bit of an extension, and then whatever we basically end up with is what we're going to go for. The interesting question here being, honestly, if my lift is even still going to be able to go up high enough for this purpose, and evidently it won't. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go into here real quick, and we'll just get this thing close to the stairs there. That'll hopefully give us some more room to work with. Oh god. Something is evidently glitching into something. I had this already, well, the stairs plan is kind of put at jeopardy. My little stands there. So something is going on when I drive the vehicle into there. I had this sort of previously already while I was doing some things off screen. And a wok just decided to constantly run into this platform and push the vehicle forward inch by inch basically until it was like somewhere up there, and eventually we just started having so much lag. I don't really know what it is. Seems like a Bermuda Triangle for lag or something, but something there the game really doesn't like about this vehicle being present in that spot. But yeah, I ended up chasing the wok off and driving the vehicle off, and that was kind of the end of that story. I don't know. Oh, other side news, by the way. I did, as you can see, make some food in between episodes. We should also still have a few potatoes remaining. A whole 23. I had to spam fire a frickin' tote bot that decided to go and whack away at my beautiful vehicle, destroying like half the platform, because he like spawned on the other side of it and thus was not quite able to run at the farm, and was like, oh yeah, let me just whack away at that vehicle instead. And I happily killed off all the bots, was like, happily waddling on my way home with a few gained component kits and some scrap arms from some dead haybots, and was so pleased with myself for not forgetting about the wave for once, and this thing actually still being in one piece, just to look at my new logging vehicle and see a flippin' tote bot whacking away at it. I was evidently quite pissed, and absolutely murdered him, and may have spent a few more potatoes than necessary on that one. But yeah, so little bit of a side story right there, and the reason why we don't have quite as many potatoes as I would have liked us to. But yeah, in general, you know, we've made some, no. Okay, we can't go any further with this. Kind of sad that I only now notice after using all the metal on the mesh. But evidently, this is causing lags and glitches. Oh no! Ow! I missed. Yeah, I mean, evidently that's causing lags and glitches on the vehicle, which we don't want. So we're going to kind of keep it where it was. Which I think was like this height, maybe? This was where it still was working? Yes, okay. So we're going to just level everything out at that altitude, and then we're just going to go with that, basically. I would love to make that jump, but I don't think I'm going to try a second time in a row here. Well, maybe we will have to. Thing is... oh no! Well, we made it, and then we didn't. So that was an interesting one. Maybe we can at least get this high up enough for the last row here. Yeah, not quite, but maybe with a little bit of this. Yes, okay, so like that, you know, we can get that one somewhat done with, or not. What did it do with that part now? We can evidently not just... well, you could do something a little like that, I guess. And that'll give us enough room. Okay, so that is where we will basically end that off. Let's take that away again. Nearly kill ourselves once more. And that is going to be the way that the cage is going to be. I would have loved to extend that, honestly, considerable. Words are hard, a bit further up. But, well, evidently... any more and the vehicle will just yank itself out of existence. So I think we're going to do it like that. Move through the lag triangle right there and find ourselves a nice and decent-ish tree. I don't think we're going to try this mega huge one up front here instantly. Oh god, the toadbot heads. I drove this into the worst region. There's like so many toadbot heads around this farm. Look at that. All the toadbot heads just lying around. Really not great if you want to drive this fat of a vehicle through. Hopefully we can make it regardless. And there we go. And honestly, admittedly, still a bit laggy with this vehicle, isn't it? I don't know. It's alright, I would argue. So I'm really intrigued now. Let's first things first. Why is there a hole? Why is there a hole in the cage? I am absolutely being triggered by that. My poor OCD. Which button was the one to close the cage? Oh god, there's going to be another hole in that cage any minute now. Where the heck did you go? What are you even... Go away, you flippity flip. Bye. Okay. Crisis averted. I hope. At least we can transport that one right along with us. But yeah, I'm really interested to see, I have to say, if this additional set of saws is going to help us saw this tree to pieces a bit better. You know, the thing that I'm still currently a bit afraid of is that the tree stump is actually what we're going to be ending up sawing away at there for a minute before this thing can actually fall further down, during which time the thing topples over and topples us over again. So I think if this isn't working well enough, we may end up just going like here. Maybe that's where the hole was from the last time. And adding another set of like 2 saw blades to the left and right, just to make sure that we can actually saw this tree to bits fast enough to just have it kind of fall straight down instead of, you know, yanking to the left and the right all the time. We'll have to see. In that case, I think... apologies. God, my voice. It's gone. In that case, I think, unfortunately... the issue may be that this engine is not a high enough level, so we may have to upgrade that once more in order to get enough bearings movable with that. But we'll see when it gets to that. First things first, let's try this again. I'm really not expecting this to go all too well for us. But let's extend those platforms before we forget. Make sure that we're actually standing on the ground with them somewhat firmly. And give this a try. Wish me luck, everyone. Oh boy, there goes a tree. What in the world was that? That was evidently not what we... We're still standing. We're still standing. It works. Somewhat. I mean, the tree kind of jumped, which is an issue, because now it's just kind of having to glitch itself down very slowly here. But it works. We're not toppling over. The over-engineering part worked. Look at it. It's beautiful. I'm so happy there's a toadbot coming in. That is unacceptable. Good thing that this thing is stable and we're not relying on sawing things to bits quickly. I could just leave the driver's seat at this point. It's beautiful. Look at it. Our wood is filling up so quickly. It is working out so well for us. And now it's not sawing it to pieces anymore. I've kind of lowered it a bit too much, I guess. Why is it not... There we go. Okay, just got to yank it around a bit now, because I guess the tree stump is a bit small, potentially, while you get, like, that high up. Oh my god, it is working! I'm so happy, everyone! I am so happy. You cannot believe it. It is great. It is great. It is beautiful. Our system is finally pulling through and working out as intended. I am so glad that this is actually working, and look how much wood we're getting from it. That is absolutely insane, and like the collection mechanism is working so well too. Like, except the tree becoming a bit small in the upper parts, which is honestly nothing that we could do anything about with this construct. And except the tree jumping a bit there in the first instance of it being sawed apart, which caused things to be working out a bit slower. Except for that, everything just worked out perfectly. And even the tree stump is gone. I am so happy about this. Oh, I'm so happy we pulled through with this design. It was so much work and so much of a struggle, but it did pay off. And it's working out beautifully, just like we had hoped. I hope you all are liking it. I certainly am. The one thing that does transpire, I think, is that we don't... Well, we do sort of need the back weight, I guess. We don't really need it to be extendable anymore, though. So maybe we could just put it on the actual grid. Because I absolutely forgot to just extend that, just saying. But maybe we can just put it on the actual grid. And get rid of the piston part, which would potentially... Oh, no! No! No, 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 no. Go away. I'm so glad I've got potatoes. The flippin' bots, man. The flippin' bots. I don't know what's up with that lag. Oh my god. I am absolutely, oh my Jesus Christ. The flippin' bots. But yeah, I mean, you know, maybe if we get that onto a fixed grid, we can also alleviate the lag issues with this vehicle a bit more. Because evidently we don't need to extend that anymore, because we've got those sidewards extending feet now. You know what I'm even thinking? No, we're not going to do that. We could probably just like tilt up those feet by using some bearings, which would... Maybe we're going to do that. You know, you know I love over-engineering stuff, and I guess we also have to over-engineer that mechanism, but I suppose through the use of some bearings, we would be able to tilt up those feet that we've got at the sides, which would in turn allow us to kind of, you know, be a bit more compact in size. The one thing that's absolutely triggering the heck out of me right now, though, is that I'm not able to steer this thing. This is absolutely unacceptable, man. Like, we're not able to turn. I think we need some more bearings for this. Oh my god. I'm not able to get back right now where I want to be. I'm going further and further and further this way. We need all-wheel steering, honestly. We definitely need all-wheel steering on this. This is just too massive. But otherwise, holy moly, has this worked out well for us. I'm glad that it did, the way it worked in the end. We can now go and knock down some forests, which is beautiful. We can go and gather some wood for our soon-to-be home, which is also beautiful. So, that's all great. It did take us an awful long time, but the design is finally working. And, you know, I mean, I hope you enjoyed the process. It was definitely a tedious one, but we got there in the end. Now, this vehicle is absolutely bugging out, though, so honestly, I think we may... Oh, now it's good. God knows why. But we may end up putting this onto a fixed grid soonish. Given that, I mean, I didn't extend the thing out. The question is, I guess, and before that we will probably see before we put this onto a fixed grid. The question is, if we go for the Mega Max big trees like this one right there, will we also still not need the weight to be extended outwards? We will try without. If we start toppling, I'm just going to extend it outwards. If we don't start toppling, we're probably going to get this onto a fixed grid. But, you know, that trial is maybe a few minutes out, given that all this stuff needs to probably be refined a bit first, which is going to be quite the task, evidently. But I'm very, very happy with that, I have to say. I think we're absolutely going the right way there. And with that said, let's go and grab this guy's arm. And we are actually going to grab that arm here too. And then we're going to get those both into refining as well. Using spastic cubes. Beautiful trick here of welding those things together. Then we're going to get all that into refining too, so we get a tad bit of scrap metal because I'm all out. And that way we can at least get some bearings going, I hope, which would be nice. Because that way we can at least start out by... May I? Thank you. That way we can at least start out by getting four-wheel steering onto that thing, which I think is an absolute necessity, and pretty much the next thing that we're more or less immediately going to tackle. Now, what I also would like to do real quick is move these vehicles out of the way a bit, because these seem to be somewhat in the spawn area of the farm, and as I previously said, like, before I started this episode, I had an issue with Totebot just whacking away at one of my vehicles because he was evidently stuck behind it, more or less. I mean, you know, define stuck. He was basically standing right in front of it and not smart enough to be like, oh, I should probably move around the outside. So that was his version of stuck, but that was bad enough, and it took me at least a few minutes. Luckily, it was only scrap stone that I had to replace, but still. It's not great, that, and I would like to avoid that where possible. We just did an oopsie. Oh, God. Okay, that's better, is it? Cool. So, that's on the lift right now, and we can start picking that apart in a minute. Do I have some inventory space? Not really that much. We're going to try and see if we can't try and tidy up our inventory. It's not like there's even much space left in there, to be honest. It's absolutely insane. We can probably... Oh, yeah, right. We've got all this scrap stone from our last mining session, so we can get rid of a bit of it, I guess. Or a bit more. Or a bit more. And then, you know, all those seeds that I used for farming previously, we're just going to ditch here. This, I guess, we can just leave in there. I'm sure we will probably need that mesh again for something, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Just hoping it's not been an utter waste at this point, to be honest. Potato seeds, more potato seeds, and I mean that should be good enough, to be honest, for a start to kind of rebuild that thing. Now this here is done refining, so let me go and swap that through real quick. I'm not sure. I guess I should be able to plop that onto the vehicle despite being on the lift, but we are going to go throw that there. Get that vehicle all the way down. Make it nice and easy for us to get up. And... help? Maybe get it a bit upwards again? Yeah, that helps. Okay. So, there we go. That is back on there. And now the next thing that we will need is going to be some bearings, which that stuff should be refined, so should be doable. Indeed it is. The one question that I currently have, though, is what level of seat is that, and how many bearing connections will it allow for? We did upgrade that once, but it's like a set amount of connections in general. I really hope that we've got 2 left. If I make this all-wheel turnable now, I guess we could just plunk down the 2 bearings randomly somewhere and just see if we can connect to both. If not, we will kind of just wait till we're done upgrading. No, not till we're done upgrading, but till we have the component kits to upgrade that seat 1 level further. Because the last thing that I do want to have is an unusable... Oh no. That's why there was... I thought I had only scheduled once, but I forgot about the fact that they get auto-pulled. But, you know, the last thing that I do want to have is an unusable logger after all that effort. Just because, like, the wheels are dangling around at the back and it's not steerable anymore. I mean, it's kind of unsteerable as is, but, you know, I guess you can always make things worse. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So, max connections reached. We will need another upgrade for that. Which means 2 component kits. I think we had 3. So that should be doable. That should be very much doable. I think I just threw them into here. There they are. Beautiful. We can get that going absolutely. Let's take a look at the visual change too. I would love to see. So upgrade to level 3. Whew, fancy. Very, very fancy indeed. I like the looks. I like the looks very much. We are going to go and make that change then. So we go and there's no bot that just ran into this, right? You all see that thing glitching in the background? That was scary. I thought some bot had ran into it or something. I don't even know. Okay, so food will stay down there. We will go and pick this thing apart then. 1, 2, 3, oopsies, 4, and 5. So what we can do here is we'll just... Where was that connected up? Was it like to the most inward point? It was. Okay. So here goes that. Then we will need this. Put that right there. Grab this. Then we will need the curvy thing, and we will need another bearing. And we go and put that curvy thing. I wonder, right, what happens if you do put a bearing like on here, then the wheel, on the then the curvy thing, and then the wheel. Will it just go? Must be fun. Must also be getting you a game-breaking bug the second you turn on the engine. But I imagine it would look fun. Okay. Anyways. We can maybe experiment around with that some other day. For now, let's do a proper vehicle and get this thing ready to go for ourselves. So, this thing goes on there, then comes the spring as per usual. We do also need to get those springs back to max tension possible. Then we go for a little curvy curve. Boop. We go for the last bearing, we go for the last wheel, and we go and adjust the other spring before we forget. So, boom, fixed. Okay, now, oh god, forgot to lower it ahead of time. That was a bit laggy. It's a bit laggy still, evidently. Oh my god, the logic. Holy. I am sorry you have to witness this, but unfortunately you can only over-engineer by spamming logic everywhere, I guess. So, these are going to be turnable. We're going to have to set the direction of those properly too. And these are, of course, going to be driven, which actually means that we don't need to connect those to the seat at all anyways. Now, what we do need to connect those to is going to be the proper engine, which should be this one. Cool. Now, let's first things first make sure the wheels are all rotating the proper ways, like the driven axle. Okay, that is beautiful. And then we need to make sure that we properly set up the steering part of things. So this should be going inverse to the front part, basically to give us more maneuverability. So when this goes right, this goes left. And when this goes right... That's right, no? It should be correct. Yes. Beautiful. So, look at this. We've got some actual wheel turning going on. Not that much more maneuverability, to be honest. I guess part of this is also the thing skidding across the ground, but it helps. You know, I can actually turn this a bit now, so it's still not a turning monster or anything, but this was very much necessary to get it to turn properly at all. So, yeah, quite happy with that, I have to say. Now, I think that's where we're going to leave off in this episode with our first successfully knocked down tree, and no toppling over. Very happy, very proud of that. The over-engineering finally paid off. I hope you all enjoyed this crazy sequence of building this thing. Now, in the next episode, I think there's still some things to look at. In the next episode, we're going to come back and try and knock down that big tree. We're going to see if we topple over without extending the thing out. If not, we're going to go, the weight, of course. If not, we're going to put the weight onto the grid in order to hopefully get rid of some of the lag. And we're probably going to think about getting a bearing involved in order to be able to kind of fold these things inwards in order to not be that kind of fat and crashing into everything. That would kind of be quite nice, so very much considering that too. And if and when that all works, I think we're pretty much good to go and just knock down some more trees and kind of clean out that forest over there, make some space for ourselves, get all that wood refined, and potentially think about building ourselves a proper home finally. So, a lot of cool ideas. I think I'm very much looking forward to that. I hope you all are as well, and I hope you all are, of course, very glad about this thing finally working. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to smash that like button right down below. I would very much appreciate that. That always helps out a ton with the performance of the videos. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please make sure to smash that subscribe button right down below, as well as that bell icon, in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next episode very, very soon. Ciao.